Well, the new era of Megaton hand traps has finally come out, and yeah, I hope that combo decks everywhere out there are no longer fearful of a board because 6 sphere modes now exist. So this is pretty crazy that this is. They didn't lie to us. These are all pretty impressive. So the first one is Dark Ruler No More, and if you follow lore and things like that, you know that Dark Ruler Hades has been just beaten up by this poor little guy his whole life. So Dark Ruler No More, normal spell card, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of this next turn. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, your opponent takes no damage, and neither player can activate monster effects in response to this card's activation. I get to blink my opponent's entire field for no reason, and the only cost is my opponent takes no damage, and I can't respond. My opponent can't respond to this. This is crazy. So we've reached the point in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now that continuous monster effects, things like Colossus, things like Hope Harbinger, they've become really a problem. And this is how we're counteracting these build-a-boards is, okay, you slap this on the field, negate everything face up on the opponent's field, and it's until the end of this turn. So basically you get to blank shot everything, and then the trade-off is your opponent takes no damage, but that's fine by me because I'm going to need to be able to get over my opponent's board. Now, when you make a spell card that literally says blink the whole field, this is crazy good. And I also think for the level that they're trying to push with this, excellent side deck card. This card actually might see play in the main deck, which is pretty interesting, to be honest. I don't know. I think for what they were trying to do for power scaling for this is something that we definitely needed in the game, just because these negate a board concepts are crazy. And seeing this card now exist might put a damper on Danger Thunder and things like that, because you can't Hope Harbinger negate this. You can't. Oh man, just this card's existence checks that deck so much. Good job, Konami. I'm fairly impressed with this one. You made a card that can't be negated by an opponent's monster effect, and it's gonna feel real bad. I hope you got the spell canceller for this, because if you don't, as soon as this sticks on the field and resolves, you're going to Pound Town. That's literally as simple as this is. Man, all 3 of these is so good. Also, the thing is, you only get 1 of each of these per 10, by the way. So let that sink in. Now, the Nibiru, the primordial being. This thing is 11 stars, so he's a fatty, by the way. So don't get too crazy about this. But Light Rock, 3,600. So during the main phase, if your opponent normal or special summon 5 or more monsters this turn, quick effect, you contribute as many face-up monsters on the field as possible, and if you do special summon this card from your hand, then special summon 1 primordial being token, Rock Light 11 ? To your opponent's field. This token's attack and defense become the combined original attack and defense of the tributed monsters, and you can only use this effect of Nibiru, the primordial or primal being, once per turn. Back off, sphere mode. Go in your corner right now. This is a quick effect during the main phase. So once again, Danger Thunder. Holy crap! I feel so bad for you as a deck. Not only do you have to worry about getting Dark Ruler No More, you now have to deal with Nibiru coming out of the opponent's hand as you're trying to combo build this board. I don't think there's a way for these decks to be able to put these large monsters on the field without consequence. And you can very clearly see here, in terms of both of these cards' designs so far, that the best thing that we wanted to do here was create a effect and a way to punish these decks. Because one of the things I think that is hindering modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you take 10-minute turns. You build these boards, and there's no real consequence to it. I think the most consequence that we've had in the previous formats here has literally been sphere mode, and we had to rely on a hand trap to kind of break these boards, but not anymore. I don't see having to deal with those consequences anymore, because Okay, you start building your board. All right, you start producing things. I drew the Nibiru. All right, I can go ahead. I can blow up your entire board in game now. Combo decks just got hindered immensely, and it's not like I have to have 5 monsters on the field. By the way, this is a summon limit that reads per summon. So every guard dragon play you do, every Saruja that you make, I get the ability to count towards Nibiru, and it reads normal or special summon for the turn. So combo decks, once again, you're getting Shrek'd on. I don't know. Good call once again. More hand traps. The ability. Oh man, like TCG knew exactly what they had to do now. Will these slow down the game? Probably. Honestly, I like what we're doing so far with these. And last but not least down here is Dimension Shifter. And I think this is something that we've needed for a little while, something like this, but this is Dimension Shifter. So it's a 6-star, which is pretty okay. Now, if you have no cards in your graveyard, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Until the end of the next turn, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Now, the first thing you're probably noticing here is the card says, if you have no cards in your graveyard. And while I immediately look at that text myself and go, yeah, I'm only going to be able to resolve one of these in like a whole game, yeah, I agree. But we had things like gnome material running around for the longest time. And I think a lot of players kind of they looked at gnome and were like, okay, the card's bad. It's a turn 1 card. Alright, I get it. I do. I kind of thought while gnome was good at some scenarios as well, I think that this card will also see some sort of play. Granted, it's not as amazing as Nibiru or, our other friend there, but, call it what it is at this point. A hand trap that I can burn off from my hand that allows me to disrupt everything that my opponent's doing, absolutely. We take what we can get here. And we've needed more Macrocosmo-esque effects for a while now. It's pretty clear that Konami has seen that. It's still a shame that Macrocosmo and Dimensional Fissure are both limited in their own regards. I really wish that we could get more of those things unlimited, but I digress. This is the cost that they're trying to say to the TCG. If you guys want those Macrocosmo effects, you can't have a graveyard. Alright, you have to literally be able to pitch us now. Though this is questionable. Grand Manju could play this to further load up their banish pile, which literally accelerates everything else that the deck is trying to do. So that's pretty cute, and in its own regard. But final thoughts on this though. Dark Ruler no more. This card is nuts. Alright. Like, purely stick it on the field, negate everything that the opponent has. What? And then Nibiru is pretty okay. The fact that this thing is a quick effect is hilarious. And then Dimension Shifter is pretty okay. Outside of that, Gold Sarcophagus imports, things that we've kind of not touched so far. We got the Magician of Black Chaos, Exodia, Paladinium Oracle Mana, Red Eyes Alternative Dragon, and the Neo Kaiser Glider being imported from these sets. I'm not so sure why they chose to import these into the Megatons. I guess it fits more of the classic dual theme, especially Oracle Mana. I'm honestly hoping whatever she ends up looking like, I hope for Prismatic's sake that she looks this good and that we just don't censor her, because like this card is beautiful and it's going to take 1 to 2 really big mess ups to just kind of ruin her art. Actually, any of the art for these cards, like these are all relatively beautiful. The Exodia looks so good and in itself. Same thing with the Magician of Black Chaos, like 1 to 2 little screw ups. Alright, look how good that is. Like, I don't want to see that censored. Same thing with the Magician of Chaos Max. Like, just more good art, things like that, just to get censored. But, alas, what do you guys think about the new cards today? The imports. I'm curious to see what's coming out in the near future here. Guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace. The ride never, truly ends.
Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.